everybody, welcome back to our channel. My name is Rachel if you're new here, and Eloise is eating currently. And I thought I would film a quick update. I'm 2 weeks postpartum, 1 day, and Eloise is 2 weeks and 1 day old. So I thought I would just do a quick update on how I'm doing, how she's doing, how everybody's feeling, what's been going on the last 2 weeks, how recovery from a C-section has been. Just things like that. So I've made some notes and I'm going to just be going through this quickly, hopefully in one take, so I don't have to edit this video and put it out for you guys today, same day. Tomorrow's video will be my what's in my, I almost said diaper bag, hospital bag video, which we filmed the night before I went in to have her. And then just like didn't have a good time to post it because we wanted to hurry up and get to like her birth vlog. We actually skipped like 2 full vlogs of footage that were from before she was born because we were so excited to like introduce her to you guys. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. So that video will be up tomorrow. It's what's in my hospital bag. And I think I'll film another one of what I actually used out of that stuff, which was, spoiler alert, most of it. But today, we're just gonna talk about postpartum things. This is gonna be a TMI video, so if you really don't care to hear about bleeding, about sweating, about breastfeeding, about milk production, things like that, then just probably skip this one because it's like almost the entire video is gonna be TMI. So my first note is night sweats. That's what I noticed like first probably in my postpartum time, and that it's not necessarily limited to nighttime. I just like get hot flashes really easily, and it happens to be more prevalent or worse at night, to the point where like you can see behind me I have a t-shirt on my nightstand there because I sometimes will like physically have to change my t-shirt in the middle of the night because I'm just drenched. A lot of you guys, I thought that one night I had a fever, and I'm pretty sure I did because like this night sweat thing is normal for me. I had it postpartum with the twins. I've had it pretty much every night after her, and the night that I thought I had a fever was different. It was a little bit different. So anyway, that doesn't really matter. I've had minimal bleeding, and it seems like I'll go an entire day without bleeding at all and then just have like one little episode. And so I talked to my OB about that, said it's totally normal. Everyone's a little different with their postpartum bleeding, and they like for it to be completely done by 6 weeks, and if not, they do an ultrasound. So I'm only 2 weeks out, and I feel like I'm almost completely done. So weight loss body update. I total gained about 30 pounds with her, and I've lost a little over 20. So I think within a day or two of being home from the hospital, I can't remember how it's gone. I've lost like a couple of pounds a day, basically every day since I've had her. And it was the same way with the twins. I don't know if it's more to do with breastfeeding or just, I feel like a lot of the weight that I gained during pregnancy is obviously baby, placenta, amniotic fluid, but I think I retained some water, and that's where like a bulk of my weight gain comes from. So that's nice, of course. Like everybody wants to bounce back or be close to their pre-pregnancy weight as soon as possible, and it seems like that's just kind of what my body does. So it also probably helps that I'm really active and still, you know, hanging out with the twins and chasing them around and probably doing a little bit more than I should recovering from a C-section, but you do what you gotta do. Milk production. So I talked about it in a few videos ago that my milk production is stellar. And I think it's just my body remembering how to produce for 2 people. And so like Eloise is getting a lot of milk, and it's obvious because she's gaining weight. Some people were concerned that maybe her weight gain was due to retaining water from the kidney, but that's not the case. I feel like the pediatric urologist would have made it a point to say that, but we talked about her weight gain, and she talked about my milk supply and thought that was she's within the normal range, and it's not necessarily due to fluid retention. So she's gaining well. My milk is, you know, coming in great. I think I was misunderstood in the video where I was talking about how an oversupply, like I think I made it like, what am I gonna do with all this milk? Of course I know that you can freeze it and donate it. The more of the issue with having an oversupply is being a slave to finding a way to empty yourself so that you're not really uncomfortable. That's what I was kind of stressed about. So having an oversupply can be a real issue for some women. You can't leave the house for more than an hour or two without taking your pump with you, or, you know, it's just like, it's kind of an issue, and you're much more prone to things like mastitis from your breast being engorged. So it wasn't like, oh, woe is me, I have all this extra milk, what am I gonna do with it? It was like, I would like myself to regulate as close to her needs as possible so that I don't have to deal with pumping all the time. So that's what I was getting at with that. But if I have a ton of extra milk, of course I would donate it, and freeze it, of course, too. So I actually still have some frozen milk from the twins, and I think it's too old for them to drink, but we could use it for like eczema or baths or things like that. So bonding with Eloise, it's kind of interesting because it felt like during the pregnancy I didn't necessarily have a chance to bond with her during pregnancy because I didn't know what she was. Like, I didn't know if she was a girl or boy, and I just felt a little bit disconnected because of that. So someone asked if in future pregnancies I would find out, and I think so, just because it like helps me bond with them. I don't know how to explain it other than that. It was really fun finding out at her birth what she was, but I think it helps to bond with them when you know their gender. So with that said, I bonded with her immediately when she was born, and I don't want this to sound like my kids fall unequally in my favor or anything like that, but it seems like I've bonded the quickest with her out of all three of them. And I'm just being completely honest. It's not like I never eventually bonded with my other kids, but like she, for some reason, I don't know, it just clicked right away. Whereas the twins, I kind of had to learn who they were, especially Lyndall. Like, I had to figure out who she was in the beginning. So, but of course now she's, I don't know how to explain Lyndall. You'll just have to go back and watch some videos. So take that for what it's worth. I don't know if that's something you experienced where with your kids you just like bonded at different rates or differently in the beginning. I think it's something that, like, women talk about the moment you meet your baby, you're just like instantly head over heels in love, and I think it's unrealistic to expect that every single time. So I think sometimes it does take a little bit of experience with them and learning them and just spending time with them to really connect, and I think that's okay. So if you have a baby and you don't connect immediately, like I didn't with Lyndall immediately, I mean, of course I loved her, and I feel like I'm just rambling at this point, but I want to make it clear that, like, I have no issues with bonding with my children, but initially sometimes it's not immediate, if that makes sense. Okay, I'm gonna move on. I can't wait to see the comments from that. So I have a note that says I'm not super tired yet. I'm super tired now. It's been 2 weeks, and the longest stretch in that 2 weeks that I've had is probably 2 hours, and that's because she eats about every 2 hours around the clock. Sometimes she'll go 3 hours, but a lot of times that's during the day, and I think I need to maybe start initiating feeding her every 2 hours during the day to potentially get those 3 hour stretches at night, but I'm just not worried about it yet. Just like knowing that there's only one and that I can by myself provide for her at night makes me less inclined to try to get her on a schedule like I did with the twins. I don't have anxiety at bedtime, and I think that goes along the same lines. Like at bedtime with the twins, I had major anxiety because I was just like worried that I wouldn't be able to meet their needs. And I don't know why that came at nighttime more so than during the day, but it did. I don't have that with her. Brad has been extremely helpful. So up until last night, he was doing all of the diaper changes at night and I was feeding her. And that was really helpful because I was having a hard time getting around. But as of last night, I was like, I think I can do the diaper changes. And then if she hits a point, which is usually late morning, like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, late morning, late night, early morning, whatever. If she hits a point where she doesn't want to be put back down, which she usually does, then I said you can take over at that point because it's not that she's hungry, she just wants to be held. So we did that last night and it helped. So as far as Eloise is going, she's thriving. She's gained 1 pound in less than a week. I think she has had a few reactive smiles. My mom and I both mentioned that we were singing to her and she started smiling and it was repeatable, like over and over. So I think she might start being like, she might start smiling. I'm not sure how to say what I'm trying to say. She might be starting to reactively smile. That's what I was trying to say. Oh my lordy. And then she's like really content while she's awake. So that's something that's really different from Lyndall for sure. And Bear was kind of like her, where he was, when he was awake, he was pretty content and just looking around and kind of happy to be there. Lyndall was, I don't know what she was, but she grew out of it quickly. Oh, she grew out of it quickly and she's obviously great now. But like when she was this age, she was either asleep, eating, or crying. And it was just kind of the baby that she was, and it has nothing to do with the person that she is now. It's just kind of the way it was. So I'm glad to have a baby that's just kind of making themselves fit into our family currently. And I think, you know, just God knew that I couldn't handle a really, I just got to be careful how I put this because I feel like people are going to get mad at me for wording it this way, but not having an extremely needy baby, which isn't a bad thing, but I just wouldn't be able to be there 100% for her at this stage. So I think God knew that I needed a baby that was laid back, and she is. And that's really it for the update. So I feel like I hit on some things that are going to be controversial, and a couple of you are really sweet about like, don't worry about qualifying what you say or defending yourself before you're even attacked, but it just happens on YouTube, so I think I'll probably not read the comments on this video. Oh, a couple of products I wanted to mention. The scale that I use for weight also measures your water content, fat content, muscle content. So if your weight fluctuates a little bit, you can look at those numbers and see if it's maybe like you're just retaining water. So I'm gonna link that below because it just makes a huge difference if you're fluctuating, which I have, of course. Like I'll go down and then I'll seem to retain water and go up, and I can look on the scale and see where that's coming from, and I think it's only like $20-something. So I'll link that below. That's the scale that I use. My pregnancy pillow I'm still using as I'm recovering from a C-section. It's helping me stay comfortable at night. And then the oil that I used for stretch marks, I'm now starting to use on my incision, which I just had checked at the doctor yesterday, 2 days ago, and it's looking really good. So I'm using that oil to kind of massage it and help the healing process, which is something that he recommended. So I'll link that below as well. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. So my battery just died. I think we'll wrap it up here. Eloise says hello. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and she makes those noises all the time. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Thumbs up this video if you liked it. And look forward to tomorrow's video, which is what's in my hospital bag. And back to our normal vlogs on Monday. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Say bye, Eloise.